Oh, my sweet dear Pokimane. It's been a while, hasn't it? If you do not know who Pokimane is, you're in for a treat, I should say. Pokimane is one of the internet's absolutely most hated creators of all time, and she deserves everything of it. She's self centered, self righteous, a cheat, a liar, fake. Every part of her is fake, by the way. And that's her good personality traits. I don't even dare to start calling out her negative aspects. And under those 50 layers of makeup is a monster. And this monster, time to time, rears its ugly head. And this is one of those times. Because you see, the glorious Pokimane, a person who has started 5 businesses. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I'm going to explain, because this is her 6th startup that she's been a part of, which we're going to get into. Because this, and I have to say this word that I don't say usually, allegedly is a scam. Why? Well, I'll get into that later, but I'm afraid of actually getting sued on making this video, because this is a situation where, yeah, suing is an actual thing that you need to be afraid of if you're gonna talk bad about this. But Pokimane has come out and created a cookie brand. Why? Well, we're gonna go into the why. But, well, what do we need to know about this cookie brand? It just dropped yesterday. Well, that it's a bunch of shit. This cookie brand is as close to a scam as anything can be, while still not exactly being under the definition of a scam. If you need proof that Pokimane is an absolute horrible, rancid, detestable human being, then this cookie thing is exactly it. We're gonna go a couple of things, and I'm gonna just point out how rancid this whole thing is, okay? So she is now the part-time owner or whatever of something named Snack Happy. And it's essentially a cookie brand. And now we're going to go over it. Most snacks were filled with things I couldn't feel good about. So we created Maya? Something like that. And it's essentially the cookie brand. And, well, let's get into what exactly it is. Well, I know you want to look at Pokimane and 50 layers of makeup, but let's be decent humans about it, because we actually need to see this. And by the way, navigating through this website took me roughly 20 minutes to actually get accustomed to, because this is the most blatant ripoff that anyone has ever seen. So, to explain what her cookies are, it's just a healthy alternative to normal cookies that you can feel good about eating because they're not bad, but they're healthy. And man, while nothing technically said in these cookies is a lie, it's stretching the truth as far as humanly possible to an extent that we might as well just call this a blatant scam. Allegedly. Allegedly, Mrs. Darcy McNean, don't sue me, because I know you probably want to. In any case, so these cookies are special because they are GMO free. GMO is the buzzword that sounds very scary because it means genetically modified organism. I'm pretty sure that's what it meant. And this is GMO free, which is technically 100% true, even though it's most likely a kind of an actual lie, and we're going to get into that a little bit later when we look at the ingredient list. GMO is just a word that scares people because it sounds bad. Genetically modified! And people instantaneously are thinking about eating pigs with 3 heads and things like that. No, most of the food you eat is genetically modified. Almost all wheat on the planet, if I remember correctly, is genetically modified. A lot of things are genetically modified, and you have absolutely no problem with it. In fact, you are very thankful that they are genetically modified, in fact. Nothing artificial. Again, a stretch to the limit. A good source of vitamin D. It's not a good source of vitamin D, by the way, but we're going to get into. And vitamin D is noticeable here because this is one of the reasons why they call this healthy. And again, we're going to explain that a little bit later. Gluten-free, which is probably the only not stretched out through in this whole thing, by the way. plant-based, which I guess is also kind of the thing, and grain-free, because the more you have of these things, the better. But, you know, if it's gluten-free, yeah, it's grain-free. That's automatic. So this is essentially just, oh, look at our good points that we have. We're so special and good. But gluten-free instantaneously almost always implies that it's grain-free and plant-based, by the way. So, you know, these two might as well not exist, but, you know, it's marketing. And then, watch what happens when I scroll down. Yeah, you can't even scroll down. You get this thing. And this is why her snacks are healthy, by the way. Level up your game, Pokimane says. The Maya brand of snacks has only 8 grams of sugar, 14 ounces, I think that's supposed to be, or Ozia, I think it's ounces, 14 ounces of calories, net carbs 16 grams, gluten-free, and vitamin D. Wow, that's impressive. Because, you know, the average cookie, dude, essentially her cookie is not even twice as better as any other thing. Mostly when you hear healthy stuff, by the way, it means 0 sugar. Her cookies, nah, they're healthy. And why? Because they have vitamin D. That's essentially their secret. Because this is wordplay. Everything that Pokimane is trying to sell you is just disgusting wordplay. And healthy, when it comes to business, is a very particularly interesting word, because it can be stretched to almost no limit. And one of the easiest ways and stupidest ways, by the way, to stretch the word healthy is, well, if you consume it and you don't die, it's healthy because you didn't die, and since you consumed it, it probably has some form of nutrition in it because you were able to consume it without dying. AKA, it's technically healthy. And their way to actually make this thing sound healthy is the fact that they have vitamin D, when other cookies don't. Is this a good source of vitamin D? Well, if you eat 500 billion packs, probably, but not really, no. Not really, no. This is gonna get super wild when we actually get into the ingredient list. And I'm not even a dietologist or someone who understands foods, but even with my basic, this much non-existent understanding of all of foods, I can already tell this is a bunch of bull, okay? This is as close to a scam as you can actually get it to, okay? Calling something like this healthy is just blatantly shitty, okay? Also, you have gluten-free cookies available in every country now. It's not special. Want a little bit of vitamin D? Eat a cookie with some, you know, orange juice. And then we have this. You'll be shocked by how yummy they are. Well, of course they're gonna be yummy. You still have a bunch of sugar, calories, and carbs in them, which doesn't make them exactly healthy, but you can call them healthy. You know? This is not actually a healthy choice of food. It's just theoretically healthy under the definition of healthy. And then we get to this. This is the actual fun part. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna mention this. Fake reviews per classic. I think these are fake reviews. I'm 99% sure these are fake reviews, but maybe I'm wrong. Again, please don't sue me, Darcy, making the actual brains behind the operation. Because, by the way, Pokimane has never actually developed a company. People, this is what happens. This is what happens with Pokimane, probably Dr. Disrespect, Asmongold, and all of these big streamers. They just get approached by people with already good business plans, and well, this is actually a bad business plan because this is gonna burn and explode really soon. So yeah, if you want to buy this, buy it because it's probably gonna be shut down in a year, probably less than a year, honestly. And I'm gonna explain why, because we already have history of this happening, especially with this woman. It's great, but yeah. Most of the time when you see someone like Pokimane say, I'm selling cookies now, I created a cookie company, it's just someone is approaching them, and in this case is this woman right here that you see. She approached Pokimane with an already ready business plan, already created everything, and she just needs to sell them to her fans. That's essentially the idea. This is what Starforge PC is, this is what everything that Pokimane has done is. Okay? She's not actually a CEO. She's a joke that just gets paid money because she's popular on the internet to some people. Okay, and by the way, these probably are fake because they were here yesterday, and this is what good sites do. They make reviews like this. Technically, again, they're real by real people, but, you know, these people are very paid. Okay? These people are obviously very paid. Made specifically to approach the Zoomer mentality of emojis and, you know, things like this. Pretty pathetic, honestly. And now let's get to the fun part. Let's get to the ingredient list. Now, we actually care about only the ingredients. So, we have almond flour, organic cassava flour. And by the way, this is funny. Maybe I don't know how to pronounce this word, but I know what cassava actually is. That shit is gotten in Africa. So, well, in one of the not-so-great parts of Africa, by the way. So, chances are, by the way, a lot of this stuff is sourced in pretty questionable places, I'm not gonna lie. So, chances are Pokimane's food is actually using slave labor in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure of it, but most likely, considering how many of this shit is gotten from Africa, from dodgy countries, okay? So, we got cassava flour, organic coconut flour, and then the healthy cookies have palm oil. Now, if you know what palm oil is, it's the literal mortal enemy of any woman past 40, because palm oil is the worst oil you can actually ever use. From all the organic non-processed oils, palm oil is just one step above gutter oil in being useful for human consumption. Palm oil just makes things taste good, but it actually can give you heart disease and, well, a lot of other things. Palm oil is by far the worst oil that a human can consume. And Pokimane's healthy cookies obviously use palm oil because it tastes the best. Palm oil makes stuff taste the best. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna die if you eat this cookie, but yeah, you're not gonna survive a year if you're trying to survive only off of these cookies, probably. Organic coconut sugar doesn't mean anything. White crisps, sugar, palm kernel, and oil, which is again just some expensive bullshit. Natural flavor, sunflower lectin and salt. Sunflower lectin is also something that you get in that you typically get in a third world country. I think, maybe I'm wrong about this one, but who cares? Cacao powder, organic agave syrup. This is definitely something that I think was in Africa. So soluble topicoa fiber. Guess where that's coming from? Vanilla extract, which is an extract which is essentially not real vanilla, but well, it is still real vanilla. Everything technically that we have in the universe is organic, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't exist in the first place. So that's also the way that she calls everything organic. But vanilla extract is essentially just extremely refurbished, mechanized vanilla. Essentially not healthy. It's basic, but it's not healthy, which actually begs the question, really, the question, is anything not artificial? Technically, vanilla extract is not artificial, because the word artificial only usually implies for artificial sweeteners, and vanilla extract is not that, but it's as close to it as you can get. Baking soda, sea salt, natural chocolate flavor, and mushroom powder. You're probably wondering about the mushroom powder. Well, the mushroom powder exists here because, well, now we're going to look at this part right here. This part right here. Mushroom powder is essentially the reason why this has vitamin D. Mushroom powder, because you can't get vitamin D into a cookie any other way. And again, this is one of the ways that they are calling it healthy, even though it's a complete bull. And now this part right here, which is also a pretty interesting one. What is the shelf life of Maya's products? Well, it's actually 6 months. Which is crazy, because a normal cookie shelf life after being baked, if it's organic, is 1 week roughly. Her organic cookies, though, her healthy organic cookies that are not full of any additives or anything like that, some magically, though, have a 6-month shelf life in packaging. A little bit sus, but whatever. Essentially, again, it's technically healthy. It's technically non-GMO, non-artificial, but again, it's all just the giant fugazi at this point. Where are Maya's cookies products made? In the USA. Where do you source your ingredients? Nowhere specific, but it's very ethical and it's very high quality. Well, actually, they don't mention anything about being ethical, because again, a lot of these products are sourced from either Mexico's drug jungles or Africa. So they're not really going to call it ethically sourced because, yeah, there's probably slave labor involved in this. So, healthy, but, a healthy dose of healthiness, but a little bit of slave labor also, just spice things up, essentially. And that's kind of how it is. This is absolutely hilarious. And you know who we have to thank for this? This woman right here. And her name is Darcy Macken, I think it's pronounced. Essentially, this woman right here. You can see her here. Oh, by the way, and this is their genius story, if you're actually ever wondering. How did Pokimane decide that she wants to make cookies? Well, she got approached by her with a business proposition. A business proposition that, by the way, I'm looking for a betting site where I can bet that this thing is not going to last 2 years. Because this woman has a history of doing shit like this. Essentially, how did our story begin? Well, we love food. Yeah, that sounds legit and shit. She's a vegan, by the way, probably. And you know what Darcy Macken is most famous for? Well, turns out she was the CEO of Plantera. Do you know what Plantera is? It's fake meat, essentially. That's what Plantera is. Over-the-top, expensive, badly tasting fake meat. That's what Plantera is. And this company was a part of JBS, I think that's how you pronounce the analog here, of a giant company. And they got shut down after 2 years because guess what? No one wants to eat shitty tasting, over-the-top expensive, plant-based fake meat. Yeah, she was the CEO of that. And as you can probably draw, you're probably capable of drawing parallels, this is essentially just her second attempt at that. Because this is the same bullshit, plant-based gobbledygook that she was already selling before. And from what I can gather, because I don't really know about pricing in the USA, but from what can I gather from reading comments on Twitter, this is ridiculously overexpensive. $7 per bag. People are laughing it as it's just ridiculously expensive. So yeah, this thing is gonna probably exist only for a year. And then it's gonna shut down because it just failed. Because it is way too expensive. It is designed for people who want to feel good about... It's essentially just designed for rich hipsters. And I don't think Pokimane has enough rich hipsters in the fan base that want to eat cookies constantly. So this thing is going to collapse. Because as much as I understand from the comments, no normal person is ever going to spend $7 on a bag of cookies. Because that's ridiculous. Okay? So that's kind of how it goes. Admittedly, you can buy 12 packs for $6.30 a pack, so I guess that's an option. Yeah, this thing is absolutely doomed to fail. But Pokimane's gonna make more money, and again, just to reiterate, Mrs. Darcy Macken, so you don't sue me, because you definitely look like the person who's gonna sue people who criticize you. I am not saying that anything in this thing is a lie or that it's a scam. I'm just saying, to me, it personally looks like this is stretching the truth out as far as it can possibly go, and coming as close to a scam as possible without being a legitimate scam. So there you go. Please do not sue me. I would not really like that. How about just a cease and desist, just to bottom up our relationship, Because I'm not gonna lie, I would fuck you, okay? I'm not gonna lie. You're exactly my type of nasty. So, yeah, Darcy. I mean, we can work things out. It is what it is. Anyway, that's it. Pokimane's a horrible, shitty human being that should absolutely get no attention. She's deplorable, detestable. Dude, you know what Pokimane is the best known for? Telling Gundam sponsors they should never sponsor him because she doesn't like him. And then when everyone called her out for being an atrocious abomination that she is, she said, Oh, I'm sorry, I actually didn't mean it. In the same breath as she did it again. I'm not even joking, yes. She did it, she got called out, then she said sorry, and then she did it again. Deplorable, detestable. It is what it is.